Okay, here is a short but thorough routine with a focus of hip mobility. So, feet hip width, parallel, always parallel stance, hip rotations. Full circle, circumnavigate every edge of that circle. Try not to skip any of it. All the way forward, all the way right, all the way back, all the way left. Don't muscle it, find the movement, find some momentum in that movement, and just keep that circle going with as little effort as necessary. If you tune in, you'll kind of notice that your head and neck almost stay in the same place. Everything underneath them is moving, with the focal point of that movement being right at the hips, the pelvis. Go the other direction now. Now I find for me, there's a little bit more of a hitch in this circle here when I'm on my left side. But I tune into that and I try to iron it out. I try to not shy away from it, but work right into it. And as I get going, I can kind of smooth it out a little bit. Okay. Hands overhead. So I'm trying to let the knee fall out while the inner foot comes up in this kind of snapping effect, obviously coordinated with the opposite hand. So this gets you some external rotation of the hips. Heart rate up a little bit. Get a little bit of shoulder mobility into this. Looks like this from the side. Okay, this one's the opposite of that. It might be a little bit harder. Now what happens is the leg that's coming off the ground, that knee kind of moves inwards towards the center line, and the foot, the outer heel of the rising foot goes outwards. So it creates this internal rotation of the hip. Now I'm also trying to reach back with my leg as I do it, so I get this lengthening of the quads and hip flexors. And then if I lift that opposite arm, I get this nice diagonal elongation from one shoulder to the opposite hip. Torso upright, just get into a nice rhythm here. This will get you breathing nicely pretty quick. Okay, let's get your leg swings. If you have trouble with balance on this, find a wall that you can place your fingertips on, or a chair. But ideally you can do it without any assistance, so you can work with your balance. I want this leg to go far behind me and far in front of me as far as I can each direction without forcing it, right? My body upright the whole time. And almost like this leg is just, I get it going and it just carries itself. I'm not working really hard here. More like just letting go at the hip joint. Imagining just kind of the separation of the ball from the socket. Okay, other side. I like to keep my arms out here to help me find my balance. And I like to look forward, fix my vision on something that's not moving. And I want that point, if possible, to be right about head height. So I'm not looking down. Big swing backwards, big swing forwards. All right. All right, let's get into this one now for a second. I'm trying to get that heel of the back leg down. I'm trying to get my torso up and back a little bit. So I get maybe a calf stretch out of it, while at the same time getting a hip flexor stretch out of it. That stretch here, and then here, and if I lift the arms into that, we'll add a little bit to that stretch, lifting the tissue of the front of the body up off of that hip that's going back. Okay, plant one leg, step behind, step out, behind, step out. All right, so this hip, adduction, abduction, adduction, abduction. This foot never moves. You know, if you can't go low, just stay high in it. The better you get, the lower you can get. Don't force it. If you haven't done this before and your hip doesn't have the mobility, you gotta chip away slowly over time. So this is just a lateral squat, and this is like a curtsy squat. Okay, we're switching sides now. Other foot's planted facing forward. Can I keep my feet, this foot, in place facing forward the whole time? That's the goal. More time. Okay, now let's get on the floor for this last little exercise. I'm going to show you the back view. All fours. We're going to do these big rotations with this hip. As big as you can go, all the way back, all the way up and around, all the way in, and all the way back. One more. Now reverse that. Come in, go out, and around. Nice and big. One hip is rotating while the other hip is stabilizing. Both shoulders stabilizing. Good position to work in. One more. Now we're going to do the other side. I'm going to show you the side view on this one. Okay. Back, up, and around. Nice and big. One more. And finally reverse now. In, out, up, back, and back in. One more. All right. Let's just bring it all together with this simple one. Arms come across the body, touch the outside of that knee. Knee comes across the body in an opposite manner. Torso stays upright. All right. I want this twisting action through the spine. Now let's slow it down. Find your balance. Find that twist. Fix your hand here. Turn your body across that leg. Fix your hand, turn your body. If you need to hold on to something with this, go for it. It is a little bit challenging on the balance. And one more time.